Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker. Thanks for joining us. Everybody joining us. We appreciate it. We always love to get updates from the people who know how to keep us safe. Those who are doing that. First and foremost, Trooper Ross Brennan with State Police. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Always enjoy.
And man, we got both of you guys today. We got Sergeant James Anderson as well, also with State Police. Thanks for joining us, James. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us today.
So look, man, we got to be careful. It's the holidays. It's cold. It may be really cold. Let's talk about some of the things we need to be aware of.
Yeah, so this weekend with the Christmas travel going to places, like you said, we have this cold weather that's coming through, but the problem is there is a slight chance where the roads could possibly ice over if we do get some precipitation. Things can rapidly change, especially with these cold weather, as reports come in that roadways might be possibly iced over. So the best advice I can give people is monitor local news in case there is updates as far as roadways if they're closed. Monitor our Facebook page, Louisiana State Police, our social media. But also, if you have a smartphone, download the LA 511 app. That's from Louisiana DOTD.
Right.
They'll be able to update road closures, things like that. Like I said, things can rapidly change. They can open, they can close as the sun comes up or sets.
Yep.
So it's definitely a good way to be informed.
I got it.
If you travel around lately, I saw DOTD, they put out road closed barriers by the on-ramps of 90. There might be a situation where your path might be shut down, right? So if you do see the roadway closed barrier, it's there for a reason. So definitely don't try to drive around it.
Right.
You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're now traveling over an icy road, you end up spinning out, crashing, and then you got to meet one of our guys.
Right.
So,
and then they got to meet you for two reasons. One, because
Yeah.
you avoided a road barrier that you weren't supposed to, and two, because you may have had an accident. Again,
Exactly.
the road barriers are there to keep us safe.
yeah, it's all about, again, like you said, keeping people safe, and there might be a hazardous type of situation. So definitely don't try to drive over it. And if they do have road closures out there, try to limit your travel to only what's necessary. And if you plan your route, try to plan a route that doesn't have a bridge or a crossover, because those typically are the first things that would freeze over
Right.
if those temperatures do drop. Like I said, we're not really expecting it, but there is a slight chance of some precipitation, and things can quickly change. So it's always just to be weather aware of what's happening out there.
And you bring up some really good points. One of the things you and I talk about that we always talk about is being prepared, knowing what your route is, knowing if there's some closures, but being prepared for the holidays in general, huh, Sergeant?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd like to expound on what Trooper Brennan said. A lot of folks will be traveling for Christmas holidays this weekend. Also, New Year's, you have folks that may be going out of town. If you're going to encounter cold weather like we're going to have this weekend, you want to take some precautions we don't normally take here in South Louisiana. You want to ensure that your antifreeze is taken care of. You want to ensure that you have blankets in the vehicle, that you have extra warm clothing in the event you get a flat tire. You can go out there and change that tire. We're talking about a hard freeze warning that's likely going to take place this weekend. You don't want to be caught out in those elements unprepared.
Yeah, and if you're leaving the house, take whatever soft drinks you may have that's in the garage, put them in your refrigerator, because they could freeze and bust.
Yes, yeah.
My sister called and left me a message. I'm like, okay, but I didn't think about it. But it's those kinds of things we just
Right.
need to think ahead about.
Yeah.
James, you bring up a really good point. We're not normally used to this kind of weather.
Yeah, most definitely. So it's a little bit out to normal for us, but simple precautions such as that. Another thing real quick too is if your windshield's frosted over, if they have a heavy frost in there, a lot of people, their instinct is maybe pour hot water on there to freeze it off. Well, you don't want to do that because it can shock the glass and then cause it to shatter. So that's something else to think about because we generally don't deal with that.
Right. So use cold water if you're going to do that at all.
Or a scraper
right?
or something that can scrape the ice off. But like you said, last minute Christmas shopping, holidays coming up, people are going to be out in parking lots and such, going to different stores. One thing else we want to kind of talk about too is just safety in parking lots. And it's not so much like your personal safety, but maybe just walking through a parking lot, cars are going to be everywhere. Make sure as you're walking, you're looking both ways. You're aware of what's coming at you. You don't want to walk out in front of a car and end up getting struck, and it just ruins the whole holiday season.
And we don't need to be checking to see if our shopping list is finished while we're walking through a parking lot.
Yeah.
Do that
dr-
before.
Or driving through a parking lot.
Absolutely
driving.
not.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
right.
parking lots are just one of those things, people don't always follow the roadways, but one ways or where you're supposed to go down a row or up a row. Again, pay attention.
Exactly.
Right, and I'd like to, with the limited amount of time that we have left, address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
And that is impaired driving this time of year.
Right.
We're near Christmas parties take place. The following weekend is going to be New Year's. A lot of folks go out New Year's Eve. If you plan on consuming alcohol at whatever party, restaurant, bar you may be at, please designate a driver ahead of time, a sober driver, to ensure that you and others on the roads get home safely.
Yeah, it's so very important. Again, we cannot state it enough. Make a plan. And look, people who drink know they're going to drink, you know, they know that they want to just make a plan, whatever it may be. You know, hopefully one of your kids is grown up enough and they're driving and it's safe for them. But again, it's going to be really cold weather. Let's not put some inexperienced drivers in a difficult position because you didn't make a good plan.
Yeah. And so since Thanksgiving, we actually in Troop C have been having zero for the holidays.
Right.
And we have been doing a great job with our enforcement, but also as far as the public making smart choices too. We have yet to investigate any type of alcohol impairment related driving crash.
Wow.
So yeah, we're on a good roll right now, and let's hopefully that we can keep it by people making those good choices like Sergeant said, having a sober driver at DD. Also, whenever you're driving to places, don't leave last minute, so that way you're not rushing. Don't
Right.
drive distracted, that way you're able to see potential hazards in front of you. All those things can lead to a safe holiday season and prevent tragedies.
And we want to keep that zero for the holidays. Boy, it would be so exciting to keep that zero for the holidays through the new year. That's always the goal. And I love the fact that we put that out there because I want people to be thinking about it. I want them to be thinking about zero for the holidays as they make zero bad decisions. So zero of our state troopers have to go out to a fatal crash.
Exactly.
That's what we want to do. Thank you so much for your service. It's the end of the year. Thank you so much for another year of taking care of the people in our community and doing it so well. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment and this Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.